is time to touch our bags and drop our sacks on this mailbag edition of the Kansas City Chiefs Report. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for joining us. I've already taken a look at some of the questions. You guys got some trade ideas like T.J. Watt, L'Jarius Sneed, among others. We'll answer those. We're going to talk about the stadium stuff, I know. Maybe even Stephon Diggs, potentially. We'll go over all that and more as we get started here on today's show. Brother Rick with a $5 super chat writes in, with respect to a new stadium, it seems that Clark Hunt all he has to do is write a check or tap his credit card. What am I missing? You're not wrong. Clark Hunt could pay for the stadium himself, but he's a businessman. And you're getting offers from the state of Kansas and the state of Missouri. Why would you not take that money if they're going to put that money out there in front of you to potentially pay for a stadium? So while I see what you mean, I don't think it would be wise or smart business for Clark Hunt to pay for a stadium out of his own wallet. He can, but if he doesn't need to, why would he? I would be doing the same thing Clark Hunt is doing right now, no matter how much money he has. If they're going to offer the money, by all means, you should take that money one way or the other. Take the money and run. Chad with a $2 super chat. Is there a chance Nagy gets fired after this season? Highly unlikely. Things would have to go really bad. And I don't think that they're going to go really bad. Andy's still calling plays, remember? So Matt Nagy, although he adds nothing to this offense, he can't really screw things up too much. I would be surprised if Nagy got fired. I think it's much more likely that he fools somebody into a head coaching job elsewhere, that the offense looks really good, and like, wow, look at Matt Nagy. Maybe he deserves a second chance. You know, he failed because he had Mitch Trubisky. That I think is the more likely scenario. But, yes, things would have to go very poorly for Matt Nagy to get fired. I don't see that happening. Chad also with a $5 super chat. I'm not from the KC area. Please explain the new stadium controversy to me. All right. I will keep this as simple as I possibly can. Arrowhead is getting older. And the Chiefs cannot play in Arrowhead as is for too much longer. So they have two options that are being presented to them. The state of Missouri is offering to pay 50% of the cost to renovate Arrowhead and keep the Chiefs on the Missouri side. In Arrowhead, as we know it, as an outdoor stadium, keep the tradition and everything going as is. That plan cost about $1.2, $1.3 million. State of Missouri is willing to pay 50%. Then you have the other side. The state of Kansas is saying, hey, we'll give you 70% for a dome stadium over in the Legends area by Kansas Speedway and Children's Mercy Park, and that's going to cost $3 billion. So even though the state of Kansas is willing to pay 70% of it, the Chiefs will have to pay more money for the 30% than they would have to pay for the Missouri side. But if you go to the Kansas side, yes, it would be a dome, and you lose the traditions of Arrowhead and all that, and you're not going to have cold weather games and all that. You do open up the opportunity all of a sudden to be hosting Super Bowls, more concerts, college football playoff games, Final Fours, Big 12 championships, stuff that you wouldn't have previously. So I think they're in a good spot either way. I don't have a strong opinion one way or the other of what they should do, but I think that they're in good shape with either decision they potentially could make between those two options that are being presented in front of them. We'll see what plays out. Bill Pollock with a $5 super chat on Stephon Diggs. We talked about him this week. Diggs would love KC. After all, KC is the capital of that pink stuff he had in his boat that he was giving out to the group of girls. You know, get him a mansion in Westport. Yeah, he might enjoy Westport a little too much if you put him there. But Diggs to KC, I don't see it happening. But if there's some injuries and New England's potentially looking to move him, maybe we can have that conversation down the line. They can also release him if he doesn't get healthy before the season starts and not have to pay him a dime. Then maybe he hits free agency for a cheaper cost he's paying now. I'm keeping an eye on it. I'm not ruling it out, but it doesn't seem likely. We'll see. Folks, want to make sure not only you're subscribed to Kansas City Chiefs Report, but also that you have your notifications turned on, that you join what we call the Noti Gang around here. Those are the folks that are the first to know when we have new content, whether it's a live show. That way you can submit questions to us in real time, or if it's breaking news and we have instant reaction, whatever it may be, news and rumors, all of it right here in the Kansas City Chiefs Report. If you're part of what we call the Noti Gang around here, Spam Noti Gang in the comments. Subscribe now for free. YouTube.com/ChiefsTV. Never miss a moment. Lock us in. We got you covered each and every day on the channel. Subscribe now. Turn on notifications. You'll be glad you did. The Cable Guy. Great movie. Fearless Leader. Hello. Salute to you. Could the Chiefs trade for T.J. Watt? Could they? I don't think it's likely. I think that the Steelers are going to get a deal done with T.J. Watt. And let me explain, and then I'll talk about the Chiefs element of things here in a moment. T.J. Watt's been one of, if not the best defensive players in football for the last several seasons now. He's a generational talent. He'll be a Hall of Famer someday. But the Steelers, here's the position that they are in, okay? They've traded for Aaron Rodgers, all right? They traded for Jonnu Smith and Jalen Ramsey and DK Metcalf. They are going all in on this year. If they are truly going all in, they can't do it without T.J. Watt, okay? I understand his frustrations of wanting a new contract. I think he'll get it. And I think the Steelers have no choice but to give him that contract, so I don't think he's going to get traded. As far as the Chiefs go, it'd be awesome to have TJ here, but you got to pay him. You like money right now. And then you got to give up at least a first-round pick, maybe a third on top of that as two. I think it's just too much for Kansas City to potentially afford. I don't see them trading for T.J. Watt. Put your GM hat on. Should the Chiefs trade for T.J. Watt? It's our pinned comment today. Type T for trade, P for pass. Weigh in. Let us know if they should trade for Watt or not. Tony, you made the mailbag, buddy. Who's a player you're looking out for in training camp, Tyler? Name 4 guys who will step up and do great. I'll give you one, Mahomes. Okay? Mahomes, it's easy. 4 guys that will step up and do great. I'll kind of go off the radar here. Give me Jalen Royals. I think Jalen Royals is going to pass up Juju pretty quick on the depth chart, be that number 4 receiver. I'll go with Isaiah Pacheco. I think this is a bounce-back season for Isaiah Pacheco. I think he's fully healthy. He's put on some weight. I think he feels like his normal self now. Jared Wiley is another name I'm watching for. Coming off that ACL injury, I think he's got a ton of talent. He reminds me of Travis. You're looking for tight end help. Jared Wiley, I think, is going to be a good one to choose from. And then I need one more, okay? This one I'm more so hoping happens. I don't know how confident I am in this, but King Felix, it's make or break time now. They need something out of him. And he's shown you absolutely nothing at this point. He needs to have a really good camp and needs to do a really good job and earn some more playing time. Watch out for those 4 guys in training camp. Sydney Sweeney, hello. Hello. What about a trade to bring back L'Jarius Sneed? So it's interesting. The Titans are in a tough spot, right? They had the number 1 pick, worst team in football. I don't expect them to be any good. L'Jarius had some off-the-field stuff recently. He wasn't healthy last year, didn't have a good year. Titans could be potentially looking to unload that. I don't see L'Jarius coming back with the roster as is, but if Jalen Watson is traded, then maybe you could bring home L'Jarius Sneed and put him back in this defense. But I think we're still a ways from that. That's another one that I'll monitor, especially as we get close to the trade deadline. Let's see how injuries go. But L'Jarius, I think he'll always be a Chief. I think he was well-liked and well-respected when he was here. But for now, I think it's a no. But I don't hate the idea of potentially bringing back L'Jarius Sneed. Should the Chiefs trade for L'Jarius Sneed? You got 2 options here. Type Y for yes, in for no, sound off, and let us know in the comment section if they should. Chiefs Nike t-shirts are on sale now with free shipping available. Chatsports.com/ChiefsNike. It's getting hot out. You need some Chiefs gear. Why not wear a Chiefs Nike shirt? It's $10 off, and you get the free shipping. We got all sorts of different shapes and sizes. We have other Chiefs merchandise available at that same link as well. Chatsports.com/ChiefsNike to get yours today. Link is in the comments and description of today's video. Got time for a few more questions. Let's start with Newton. Newton writes, #Chiefs. Let's talk LB and talk about linebacker, their role in Coach Baggs' defensive strategy this season. Spectacular on the number of linebackers to make the 50. Speculate the number of linebackers to make the 53-man roster. relationship to special teams needs and coach. Okay, Coach Tobe. All right, so that's a lot to unpack there, Newton. Long question. I would say of pure linebackers, we're talking, middle linebackers, I'd expect 4 or 5. The roles I think are going to vary. Nick Bolton is not a very good coverage linebacker, if we're going to be honest. I like Nick Bolton, but he struggles there. That's where Leo can help out and Drew can help out in that sense. And, I think it's a good unit. I like what the Chiefs have with their linebacker situation. The other thing I would say as far as roles go, Jeffrey Bassa, who they drafted from Oregon, he's a very good coverage linebacker. Maybe he comes in on some coverage downs. But as far as their roles in special teams, Bassa, I think, could be involved in special teams. Cam Jones or Jack Cochran potentially could be involved in special teams. We'll see. But I think that the special teams isn't the priority as far as deciding who makes the roster on that front. Last question. Richard writes in, who is the bigger threat to the Chiefs? Josh Allen and the Bills or Lamar and the Ravens? I think of the top 3 in the AFC, if you were to power rank them right now, based on the moves that we've seen and how rosters have shaped out this offseason, I think the Chiefs are the number 1 team in the AFC. I'll go the Ravens number 2, and I'll go the Bills number 3. I think the Ravens are slightly better than the Bills, but I think all 3 of these teams are capable of winning the AFC. Might take some luck. What's the old adage? Any given Sunday. They're all very good teams, but I would lean towards Baltimore slightly at this point. I like the changes that they made. Their defense improved. The receiving core improved. I think Baltimore's a slightly bigger threat, and they got Derrick Henry. I think it's tougher to defend Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson as opposed to Josh Allen and Cook and those guys. I think that's a tougher matchup for Kansas City. For continuing Chiefs coverage, subscribe now to the Kansas City Chiefs Report for free, youtube.com/ChiefsTV. Turn on notifications so you never miss a moment. I'm Tyler Jones. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time here on the channel.